Happy Father's Day, Gaumer.
Thanks.
Welcome to ComicCast, issue number 148, brought to you by Dwayne's World Comics and Games, 457 East Sullivan Street in Kingsport, Tennessee. They carry graphic novels, comic books, statues, toys, gaming merchandise, miniature games, board games, and RPGs. Check them out. Dwayne's World Comics and Games, Kingsport, Tennessee. My name's Boogie Bentley.
And I'm Adam Wade Adams.
I'm AKA David.
And this is Gaumer.
We have a nice, does everybody else see that alert at the top that Hangouts on Air is going away later this year? We're in trouble if that's the truth.
Why would it? I think they're just rolling it into like a YouTube service.
Yeah, if that's the case, then hopefully we can figure it out.
Oh, man. We got some time.
Well, if you're joining us in the live chat, do us a favor, drop out, hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed to the S&B Network and share out the link. You can also catch the VIP pre-show, patreon.com/ComicCastPod. Oh, Ninja Fingers is in the chat. What's up, Matthew Lane? Got a great pre-show for you this week.
Oh, is that Matthew Lane on vacation?
Yeah, spoiler alert. I just dropped his name for everybody. Coming live from Myrtle Beach. Hope the waves are big and the sharks are small.
Oh, man, that's awful.
Is it? Was it bad?
No.
Dude, shark attacks are very rare, and they only happen in the water.
And they only do it because they're curious.
That's
curious about how you taste.
Yeah,
I'm talking about.
That's a valid excuse.
No.
Yeah. What's that splashing around? Let me take a bite. Yeah, that's okay, shark. I know you're just wondering. Scientific studies and all.
I know you can't smell a drop of blood in an Olympic-sized pool.
Go tell your friends.
Tell them that humans are terrible.
They taste bad.
They
There's
do.
Yule. Happy Father's Day. Yeah.
They're
I think Boogie was talking smack because I was yelling at my kids like right before the show.
Father's Day. Isn't it funny that on social media, everybody has the greatest father ever? It's just, are there any bad people in the world when it comes to social media?
My dad and I have always gotten along, but yeah, we never really hung out. You know, my parents divorced when I was young and my mom moved around a lot. So I didn't hang out with my dad a lot, but he's a cool guy.
So why don't you go ahead and post on Facebook that
he's the best father. It's Uncle fucking Ben. Oh, sorry.
Wait, God.
We need to actually build up. We need to actually build up the audience for when the comic book bullies get on because, man.
Yule Carter says, my dad gave me my stupid name.
Oh, man.
Thanks, Dad.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with Yule. It's unique. It's unique. People say, oh, that's unique.
It's not as boring as Ryan.
Oh, don't even. I hate my name.
It's okay. You'll just insult my kids again. It's all right.
You were named after a soap opera.
Soap opera? Me?
What's a soap opera?
Soap opera. Soap opera. A soap opera. Isn't that like ice cream? Deep fried ice cream? How was everyone's week? What are we talking about?
Wonderful. I don't think we planned out what we were going to talk about.
I thought we planned it out.
Go ahead, David. Take it. If you know
I know something I want to talk about. How about the because you mentioned it last week, the E3 Avengers announcement. How about that?
My gosh, what a turd. I mean, that's the only thing I was waiting on in this game. Now, don't get me wrong. We know very little. But what we do know is the characterizations look bad, and we haven't seen any gameplay. The gameplay, it's a video game. You got to know how it plays. The one thing I heard was that the Iron Man scene where he's flying through the air is on rails. No one wants to play that. No one wants to play a game where you just hit the shooty button. You know?
It's Guitar Iron Man Hero.
Is that like the game at Disney where you ride through and you just hit the little...
Yeah. But they did say that it's going to be like free content, like new characters and new stories every 3 or 4 months. So that's kind of cool, but not if the game is not good.
Free? Is it free? Is it really going to be free? Is DLC ever free?
Well, they said it was going to be free. They do have microtransactions, but not like competitive microtransactions, just for different suits and stuff like that. So that was the big news. That's what I was waiting for. It's the only thing I gave any care about.
Whoever came up with that meme at Outright Geekery was freaking perfect. Like when I saw the trailer, I was like, something looks bad about these characters.
Yeah.
And then they put out the space balls. They're stunt doubles. And it's like, this is perfect.
I saw one where remember in the first Spider-Man movie, Tom Holland is like sees those guys in Avengers mask. He's like, "You're not the Avengers." And it's that one. That's a good one. Yeah, man,
I
come
saw.
on.
I sat through the Bethesda E3 conference, and oh wow,
I don't know about that. They had a lot of stuff they were adding to what was going on now. I think the big news for you guys here is the Fallout 76 Battle Royal, which may be too little too late for anybody who didn't care.
no, you're
but-
wrong. You're
but-
wrong.
What do you mean?
Oh,
What do you
super
mean?
hostile.
What do you
Battle
mean?
Royale, they put out the preview, they put out the beta for it,
Yeah.
and people are coming back to the game.
Oh.
People are coming
It's
back
okay.
on a bunch of the forums. People are enjoying the hell out of the Battle Royale.
Good. Well, good.
It's if you play PUBG, then it's nothing all that new. It's got some perks, but the big difference between it and PUBG, there are no vehicles. Which I think vehicles make a big difference. And,
what I have played of it, the maps are just portions of the map that with the shrinking ring, but it's a ring of fire. So they're not. It's small enough that you don't need a vehicle, really.
Yeah, and you can. The last time I played, the ring shrunk down to pretty much almost the last size, and then someone decided to nuke inside that circle.
That's a smart idea.
Fun.
So
because you win.
And I mean, I've killed a few people. I haven't won anything. My biggest problem is they're going to have a vault raid soon. Yeah. But the thing is it's multiplayer. I play Fallout for the loneliness of being by yourself in a post-apocalyptic world. I don't want to deal with people, and all I've wanted to do is get inside the vaults. And now I hear you're going to have a team to raid the vaults. Well, you can't just explore it.
If it's like a level 50 and you need a team of level 50s, it can be done solo. Like the Burrows, they say is a level 50 or higher vault. But if you're high enough level, you can do it solo.
Yeah,
I mean, but it's a multiplayer game, though.
Well, it's a multiplayer game, but on the server, you're only one of 24 on a server.
When they first announced it, they said you would be able to play it as in groups or by yourself.
Yeah, so well, not everything, obviously, and I think they had to change that strategy a little bit.
Yeah, that's like WoW. That's like World of Warcraft. You can run around that world by yourself, but you're not going to get anywhere once you reach a certain level.
Yeah,
says the guy who's never played Fallout 76.
And that's when I would stop playing.
But they're also going to start a new storyline where NPCs are introduced back into the game.
And that's by outcry. That's the public saying we're not going to play your game until you change it, and that's fine. That's good.
And all this stuff they're adding, people are just saying, "So you working on that Fallout 5 yet?" Yep. But because if they keep going, adding NPCs, adding making it more like Fallout.
Yeah,
then they might as well be working on a new Fallout game.
But what else Bethesda had at their
let me stop you for a second, because I think Bethesda's biggest news was their lack of that space game. That's the biggest news. That they haven't showed any of that.
Game?
Yeah,
they showed like a brief teaser for it.
Last year, it was the same teaser.
Yeah, but the one that everybody's waiting for is the Outer Worlds, because that's what I want. It's by Obsidian, who did the original Fallout.
Yeah.
And so I think
and New Vegas. Didn't they do New Vegas?
Yeah, they did New Vegas, but that was kind of like a contractual thing when bought the rights.
Outsourcing.
So the Outer Worlds looks like Zelda, right? That's that game.
No, the Outer Worlds looks like a Fallout in space.
Yeah.
No, I didn't see that.
It looks good. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm actually looking forward to that. Yeah, I'm also looking. I know it was not announced at E3. It was announced way before E3, but I'm definitely looking forward to Borderlands 3.
Yeah.
What about Dying Light 2?
I'm not good at Dying Light, but that game does look dope. I'm not good at games like that.
I love Dying Light.
I want to try
that game forever.
I want to try this game called Deathloop.
Oh yeah, I've actually seen. Is that the 12-minute one? Or no?
12-minute look good.
I think Deathloop and 12 minutes have pretty much the same exact premise, though.
I believe so.
Yeah, it's like a Groundhog Day with blood and gore.
Yeah,
my
Groundhog
favorite
Day was Assassins.
Yeah, my two favorite things were probably the Forza Horizon adding the Lego stuff. I know that sounds stupid.
That looks cool. That
but
was
it looks
pretty
so cool.
I have to
and
admit
I'm
that.
sorry, dude. Watchdog Legion looks amazing. Are you kidding me? You could be any character in the game. You can recruit them to your side. And they literally have a grandmother who kicked so much ass. It was so good. That game's not coming out till late next year, though, I think. Yeah, and Cyberpunk, Comics Music Explained, Cyberpunk looks cool. Keanu Reeves we're in a Keanu-sance somehow. Keanu Reeves is cool again.
He's
him and
the presentator from Bethesda are like the two most popular people to come out of that.
Right? Yeah. What anybody else? Favorite game that they showed off? No one.
The Halo Infinite.
Well, that was more of a new hardware show.
Yeah,
I think, than anything
but
else.
that looked pretty good. That might actually get me back into Halo.
There you go.
That's pretty much. What was it? I thought I'm trying to think now. I thought Nintendo had something.
They had like a Zelda sequel that looked okay.
There's a
Animal
lot of
Crossing
firestorm going on about Pokemon and Game Freak and Nintendo apparently with the Sword and Shield on Switch.
Yeah.
Apparently, you can't transfer previous generations to the game.
No.
I'll be picking up Mario Maker 2, though.
Oh, that looks
at the end of the
fun.
month.
They're adding so much that you can do in Mario Maker 2. It's going to be so fun, dude.
Yeah. We can, if you want to jump from the game thing, I've binged all of Jessica Jones season 3.
Oh my gosh.
You're a glutton for punishment.
In less than 48 hours?
It was I'll be honest, I actually fast forwarded through parts. There was a point when you could fast forward through the intimacy scenes because there was a point where it's like, what is this, Jessica Bones or something?
But that
sounds way better.
That was how she was
really
like
does.
in other series, wasn't it?
Well, she has a lot of...
Ninja Finger says no spoilers. He will cut you. So keep going, but tread lightly.
They have a lot of intercourse in those shows.
Now that I can't do spoilers, I will say that...
I would hope not. The show just came out on Friday, man.
Yeah.
Easy.
Well, I would say you can pretty much skip it.
Oh, that's not going to be good for my soul.
I will say if you're a fan of shows that like if they shoot a scene or shoot an episode from one person's perspective and then you get like an episode a little bit later and it shows the other person's perspective of that same scene, they do a really good job of doing that. Explaining kind of each person's thought process and in regards to the story. That's good. There was something else. There's of course they had a classic costume nod in there. Since no spoilers, I won't say whose costume, but it just seemed like the ending of it. I mean, sometimes it just felt like it was just muddling along.
Well, how much of that is because there's that it's done? It's over.
Exactly.
It's hard to get excited for it, man.
Yeah,
what's the point?
It was they in regards to the villain, they took an interesting take on it.
A long way from Purple Man, though. Come on.
Yeah.
I love how you said it too. It's like, yeah, because you really wanted this to be good.
Well, I'll just stop it. I don't want to spoil stuff. So
yeah.
Ninja Finger says, "Is it better than season 2?"
Comics Explained wants to know what the record is behind you.
What?
The record, that orange LP record.
Oh, you can see that in my camera?
Yeah.
Comics Misexplained always has records behind him on his show.
It's on my Fallout shelf. It's John Denver, Take Me Home.
Oh, wow.
To a place
I belong.
Yep.
West Virginia.
I also have the Fallout 4 soundtrack on vinyl.
Nice.
Cool. Nothing like getting in Adam's car and he's playing stuff from the 1940s and 50s.
I was going to say, what's he got a vinyl player in his car? That'd be rad.
That would be awesome.
I picked
Don't
this
hit a
up
bump.
Dang, Serenity's already jammed through all of season 3 too. Didn't like season 3 at
wow.
all. Loved season 1 and season 2.
That's because Serenity is stalking Adam.
Serenity was watching him through Adam's window.
It's uncomfortable, like trying to watch Transformers 4 through the window of an RV.
But there was a point like the first season, of course, Jessica Jones was, getting with people, but you were just introduced to Jessica Jones. Now it's season 3, it's almost like, well, we have all of these characters. These 3 have already had an intimacy scene, but these 2 haven't. So let's give them one this episode.
Oh, like they were checking off a list.
It was like they were checking off a list.
Netflix was like, let's go ahead and just do this because we're not going to have the license for these characters.
It was
after Disney Plus gets here.
There was no night nurse.
There was no Rosario Dawson?
No, she wasn't in it.
What the hell?
I'm not watching it. That's it. I'm boycotting it.
It was
canceled. Jones. It's already canceled. It's done.
There was something else good about it though, and I can't think of what it was, but there was something else.
It must have been great.
It sounds bad,
but the best.
Did anybody see the Dr. Sleep trailer?
Oh, it looks cool. Yeah,
it looks good.
Great callbacks to because I've never read the book, but my wife has, and she's like, "That's a callback to the book." At one point, but it's also calls back to the Stanley Kubrick film, which might be not just the best horror film ever, but arguably the best film ever.
Yeah.
Did you see like on Twitter or some social media where the director was saying that no, we didn't use footage from The Shining. We actually shot these shots for this movie.
Yeah, well, yeah, I can see that.
People were saying that some scenes from the trailer were just used footage from The Shining.
Oh,
and he's like, no, it's not.
Yeah, well, yeah, that's stupid. Why would people? I wouldn't think that. Come on, it's just stupid.
My sister-in-law said that the book, until you find out that it's a sequel to The Shining, is all right, but once you find out it's the sequel to The Shining, it kind of loses its oomph.
Oh, okay. My wife didn't read Dr. Sleep; she read The Shining.
Yeah, but my cousin. Or not my cousin, my sister-in-law read the Dr. Shining or Dr. Sleep.
Why does it lose its oomph? Is it because it comes right out and says it? If they had left it more ambiguous, would the book have been better?
She didn't explain why. She just said that once you realize that this is a novel sequel, once you find out that it's the sequel to The Shining, it kind of loses whatever impact it had, because then it's like, oh, this is what he had planned as a sequel, or this is his follow-up to The Shining. That's how she explained it.
Yeah, whatever. It looked cool, dude. It looked cool.
Does it also does it go in further into how Stanley Kubrick shot the Apollo 11 moon landing or whatever it was, and how it was all fake?
It happened.
Conspiracy theory.
Eddie Bravo. Is Alex Jones here? What the heck is this?
We went in 72.
I'm Alex Jones.
He's back.
Brain broth.
That's the only way he's allowed on YouTube anymore.
Alex Jones, was the moon landing faked?
I'll tell you what isn't fake. These great prices at my store.
Yeah.
Buy my shit.
I think we just got banned from YouTube.
I know. That'll do it.
Hey, can we talk comic books?
We should.
Sure.
We, courtesy of OutrightGeekery.com, we got advanced review copies for a few books, so we're going to jam through them. We can't spoil anything. We're not going to go very in-depth. I think we should do this as kind of a buy it or sell it. Would you recommend somebody buy this or not? So let's start with my good buddy, Aubrey Sitterson. Good friend of the podcast. I consider him a pal. A family friend, probably even. No One Left to Fight, #1 from Dark Horse Comics. The artist, Fico Asio. Is that how you say that?
Yeah.
Anybody want to take the bull by the horns? Who wants to go first?
I will. Okay. Go ahead, David. You rock.
Okay. As some of you may know, I actually was picking on Sitterson for this book when he was trying to promote it, and after reading it, the art is very good. I would pick it up, and I kind of regret my torments to him about this book.
Cool. You should tell him that, man.
Yeah. He's probably got me
Don't
banned.
be the bigger man unless he wants to come and apologize to me. I'm going to be that guy.
But overall, I mean, I can kind of see how it's Dragon Ball Z-ish.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't even get there until kind of the end.
It doesn't get there, but it's kind of like, after Goku defeats Majin Buu.
Yeah, it's after the big war, after the big fight.
So, but I can kind of, it was the art was fantastic. So I would definitely pick it up.
My problem with this book is everything you just said. After what? After the big war, right? On the cover, you got this big, cool-looking warrior guy talking about this big war. That's what I want to see. I want to see this dude in the war. But no, instead I get this big warrior dude coming home, and it's all these little cutesy-wootsy jokes and comments and cooking dinner and chopping carrots and stupidity, man. Stupidity. Aubrey Sanderson killed it on the story of professional wrestling. That's what he should write. Stuff like that was great. This was so just boring, man. One thing I will give him credit for, he's known for throwing his politics into comics. He kept that out of this, but he kept an entertaining story out of it too for me. I just didn't like it.
There's a PTSD angle that's worth exploring in this book, but he didn't get there in this issue.
He kind of got there towards the end.
He tried, but I don't think he quite got to I don't think he explained enough to the audience for us to pick up on that full-heartedly. You know what I mean? But this comes out July 3rd. It's $4.
Do you think he did enough in issue 1 to bring somebody back for an issue 2?
No.
I want to check out issue 2.
No. Fico Ossio, the artist on this is some of the best work I've ever seen.
Amazing artwork.
He
did a lot of stuff for the Hasbro comic book universe, including Transformers and Micronauts. And I loved it then. But yeah, this is some of the best work. The color use is just popping. It's great. But yeah, based on the story, I'd have to say skip it. Missed opportunity.
Something they say in professional wrestling as I rock my Something to Wrestle with Bruce Pritchard shirt. Give me something I love or something I hate. There's no worse reaction than something I just do not care about.
Yeah.
And that's the way this felt.
Yep.
Well, I'll just say that if you're a fan of One Punch Man or Dragon Ball Z, check it out.
Cool. It's
really One Punch Man, though. Really?
But do Dragon Ball Z? Do they sit around in the kitchen and chop up carrots and talk about being jealous because your wife likes your brother?
You know what?
Have you not watched the episodes where Goku eats? Somebody's got to pick that freaking
You'd be
food.
surprised how much time they waste on Dragon Ball Z.
On food, just having
So we're in agreement that Sanderson wasted time in this issue.
I mean, he was introducing us to the characters, but I thought he did that after the second or third page. You know, one dude the dude hated him, the girl liked him.
Well, there's obviously if we're using Dragon Ball Z, there's obviously some analogs there. We have a Goku character, we have a Vegeta character, we have a Bulma character, we have kind of a Piccolo character.
I don't know.
I
think that's a bit of a reach.
He made the GoBots equivalent of Dragon Ball Z here,
dude.
Did you not read it?
That might be it.
I flipped through it. I could.
The art was dope.
I started to, and then I just, it's one of those deals where you start to, and then you start flipping, and then you start flipping, and then it's like I don't care.
I did that on another book we're going to talk about in a little bit.
That's what I did with this one, and that's I didn't see anything here. If it had been like One Punch Man, I would hold my attention in this format, but this did not.
Yeah,
yeah.
I can make a case that the second issue is going to be better because it was just building up at the end of the first issue. But again, I don't want to spoil too much. But sorry, just based on this first issue, it would be a skip it for me.
Skip it for me.
Skip it. Bop it.
Skip
it. Pull it.
I guess I'm the only holdout here, and I would probably go ahead and pick up the second issue.
There you go.
Cool.
But you're the Dragon Ball fan.
I'm not necessarily a Dragon Ball fan, but I felt that there's a little more to explore.
There you go. That's fair.
Let's jump over. This was Image, right? Sea of Stars, number 1. Jason Aaron. We'll kind of jam through it the same. I didn't get the artist on this. Did anybody write down the artist?
It was also Dennis Hallam, who is Dennis Hopeless.
Oh wow, really?
Writing, yeah. And Stephen Green is the artist. This comes out also July 3rd, and it's $4 as well.
I like Jason Aaron. Jason Aaron does Southern Bastards, and it's like so perfect. Such a great book. Obviously, Jason Aaron's Thor. He does War of the Realms. This is just, but I knew, man, I got excited because I saw Jason Aaron had a new book coming out from Image. I got excited about it, and then I saw the cover, and I knew I wasn't going to like it. It's just not my cup of tea. So, whereas the last book, I don't think I disliked it because it wasn't my cup of tea. I just didn't think it was good. This is just not my cup of tea, and it's not fair. It's space. I'm really typically not into space unless for some reason Donny Cates takes over. Right. I'm obsessed with it.
Right.
But the monsters, I don't know. Somebody else talk because I feel bad because this was well written. I didn't get into it.
Dude, for me, this was just weird and wonderful space sci-fi. If you read the solicit, you get everything you need. Everything in there is exactly what happens in this book, in this first issue. There's crazy talking space monsters and a space monkey and a boy lost and a father seeking, his son to rescue him. And I think my favorite part is Jared Fletcher. Jared Fletcher is the letterer on this book, and everybody's got their own little letter set. It's great. This is a buy it for me. Pick it up.
Some of the dialogue was hard for me to read though. With was it the green dialogue boxes were hard, and it could have been because it was digital.
Yeah, possibly. And this wasn't just digital. This was like an editor's cut of the digital. You know what I mean?
The 2-page layouts especially were.
Yeah, the layouts were weird, and it had the weird borders around it. So, but yeah, this is definitely a pick it up for me. Well, and it's Jason Aaron. This might be the biggest book Image puts out this year that's not an ongoing.
I think the borders and stuff are just the stuff that's supposed to be taken out when they edit it and put it into a physical form.
No, that's what I meant by editor copy. Yeah. My bad.
I liked it. It's a bit a lot of dialogue going on in there at certain places. But it had kind of a very old Dark Horse Comics alien feel to it that I liked. There's a very Hellboy kind of art quality to it that I liked.
Especially the space monsters.
The space that's where I get that feeling is especially the space monsters. Interesting enough that I might actually look into the second issue. I'm definitely going to pick this up.
Cool.
My turn, and
my turn.
I always have trouble putting my thoughts into words.
You should probably start a podcast. Sometimes I get my damn self.
The art was I thought the art was good. The story was there, but it also I can definitely say this was not for me. I like sci-fi and stuff, but it at the end of it, I did not care what happened next. But that's not because of the book. That's just because I didn't care.
Because you don't have a heart and a soul.
Well, you didn't like it either, Boogie.
I know. I just like to make fun. This is what you wanted. What do you want?
It is.
Adam's talking and I'm making fun of him, and you're supposed to be happy. Jeez, we're just trying to give you what you want.
So
what can I say? It's Christmas and we're all in misery.
Alan, are you smoking again?
This is definitely a pick it for me. Pick it up for me.
Okay, let's move on to the main event. The book that was freaking amazing.
Weighing in this corner,
Black Hammer Justice League #1, Dark Horse and DC Comics crossing over. Jeff Lemire, Michael Walsh. I don't know what I can say because we're not supposed to spoil it unless it's in the preview. I didn't know the direction I won't say it. I didn't know the direction this was going to go. Mm-hmm. I don't even know what I expected it to be other than Black Hammer and Justice League being smashed into this book. Speaking of, go smash that like button if you're in the live chat.
Oh, good.
Why you guys smash it?
Yeah, do it.
I loved the way Jeff Lemire. I love where he took this book. As part of it was happening, I was, even if I had come up, there's nothing better that I would have come up with. This is perfect for this crossover. Yeah. I love what he did with the teams in this book. Yeah. But I will say that probably to like it, you got to be reading Black Hammer.
That's exactly right. This book comes out July 10th. It's $3.99. And I think fans of Black Hammer are going to love this. DC Comics fans who have never picked up Black Hammer, maybe not so much.
Yeah.
But I 100% agree with Boogie. The direction, expect the unexpected with Jeff Lemire, and he did it. I don't know how he's going to move forward.
When did you say this comes out?
July 10th.
July 10th. Okay.
Yeah.
I really liked it. But you and I, Boogie, are fans of Black Hammer. DC likes to have fun with their characters and do a lot of crossovers like this, and this is definitely in that vein. I enjoyed this, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. This will be like a pick for a book of the week if I get my chance.
I was going to ask you guys about it. What are we going to do when these books come out? Because every one of these would have probably been on the poll.
Yeah, they'll definitely still can, and we'll just get to spoil them a lot more. It'll be weird when Sea of Stars gets on there because, we're really not going to change our opinion. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. Black Hammer art. What do you think about the art, Boog? We're getting a question in the chat. Is it Black Hammer art? I say yes.
It's
a little different.
I would say
it's a little bit of a departure from the Black Hammer art, but it's still Black Hammer.
Yes, but Serenity, did you read Black Hammer 45 or did you read what was the other one?
The Doom one.
Some of them are different styles of art, but it's still the characters are all still there. They're all still recognizable.
Yeah.
The way that they drew the Justice League was great. The artwork wasn't. It was perfect. It was fine.
Yeah. And we're not spoiling it, so sorry, Comics Misexplained. We can't answer.
So what happens at the end of this book? No.
Yeah, so what happens at the end of this book is Dark Horse Comics revokes the outright decrees.
I liked it, and you all probably know why I liked it.
Yeah, I know exactly why you liked it. It was
oh yeah. I was like, no, wait, why? It's like, okay, yeah.
I'm definitely interested in what happens in this story, and and this kind of go. Did you all hear about Rob Liefeld spoiling the the DC Image crossover or whatever it was?
Did he spoil it, or did he come out and say that they were going to do it?
I think it was more along the lines that he said that this was a plan in the works.
It was a plan and a potential plan in the works, and
then he said DC Comics was going to be out of business in 18 months. And then
Liefeld knows a thing or two about a publisher going out of business.
And then he put out a bunch of stuff that he had submitted, OMAC, and I think a Justice League story and a Legion story, and all these were denied by DC Comics
because somebody at DC Comics knows that. Somebody at DC Comics knows shit when they see it.
Oh my god!
Now, do you think? I don't know. Do you think it would be cool to have Constantine and a crossover between Constantine and Spawn?
Yes.
It could be.
Does it have to be Spawn?
It can be that whole family of characters.
Because
who else would it be? Unless they're doing more recent kind of mainstream Image.
How about Constantine and Madame Dragonfly and Black Hammer?
That's DC and Dark Horse, not DC and Image.
Or you could do Gideon Falls, but no, I don't want anyone to touch Gideon Falls. It's perfect as it is.
You could have said the same for Black Hammer, though, man.
No,
this was awesome.
Black
Image
Hammer
and DC, and then you can
Black Hammer is more superhero.
And it's already expanded into other books.
There's a whole Jeff Lemire has built a whole universe of Black Hammer.
Oh,
DC, if you're listening to this, give us a Batmite crossover with Gert from I Hate Fairyland.
That would be awesome, actually.
That would be.
Oh,
so this is definitely a pick for me. Black Hammer Justice League, only if you're a Black Hammer fan. I don't see why you would pick this up if you weren't a Black Hammer fan.
But how much Black Hammer have you read, Adam? But I guess you get the gist. You know enough because we talk about it all the time.
One or two, and I know they just came out with a encyclopedia or not encyclopedia, but a book that goes through all the characters.
I think it's actually called the Black Hammer Encyclopedia. It comes out next week, I think.
They have that library edition too that looks amazing. I'm gonna end up buying it.
Yeah.
Well, the thing about the Black Hammer characters is they have analog with the Golden Age characters.
Well, they actually, and no spoilers, they actually point to that in this issue.
They do.
They pull that analog, and Lemire's like, "Yup, look what I did," and it was perfect. It's perfect. It's almost like he's laughing and pointing, like, "Ha ha ha! You didn't even think this was gonna happen, but look what happened."
Well, when Lemire started Black Hammer and talked about this universe he wanted to create, I was like, "This is not going to be good. I love Jeff Lemire. I'm not going to like this, but it's freaking amazing."
It is. It
and
is.
Now
it is like one of the best creations in like the last 5 years.
That's something. He created this thing out of nothing, and now it's teaming up with Justice League.
Yeah. Look at it that way. It's not even 5 years old, and it's already doing.
Came from the bottom. Now we here.
Yep.
Oh wow.
Drake.
Just one step took me out the ghetto.
All right, we ready to move on?
It's a picket. Don't sleep
pick
on
it.
if you're a Black Hammer fan.
Pick it. Pull it all.
Even if you don't like Black Hammer, read the first issue.
Yeah. There you go. If you read the first 2 or maybe 3 issues of Black Hammer, I think you'll get everything you need. Because there's a lot of Colonel Weird that I think you need to know, and I don't think they get to him till at least issue 2 or 3 of the first series.
Yeah, that was forever ago.
Dude, I know it feels like it was like
that was back before the Quantum Age and all that.
Yeah, that was when my hair was short.
That was when Doomsday Clock number 4 came out, like 7 years ago.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Event Leviathan number 1. I'm gonna bring the room down. I'm sorry.
Oh gosh.
Way to kill the mood.
Sorry. Yeah. Brian Michael Bendis, art by Alex Maleev, letters by Joshua Reed. 6-issue miniseries / event. The greatest detectives hunt our greatest threat. The lead up to this has been all over the place, and I know I hate when you're reading a mystery and it's like, well, is this a mystery or is it just confusing? Which one is it? And sometimes I don't know what Bendis is doing. I don't know if he's doing such a great job giving me a mystery story or if he's just bouncing all over the place and confusing me. Leviathan has destroyed all aspects of the intelligence community. They went after Amanda Waller. They went after Sam Lane. And as we saw, for $10, you can go read it too, that they kidnapped Clark Kent.
But they let him go?
In typical Bendis fashion, we still don't know anything. Nothing. We learned absolutely nothing from this number 1 issue of this huge event. We learned nothing. Everything that happened in this book, we already knew.
I learned that Lois Lane was considered one of DC's greatest detectives.
Well, apparently so, but that's it. We got Batman, Lois Lane, and Steve Trevor. And was anybody else confused as hell why Steve Trevor's even here?
Well, I don't know why he's in I guess he worked at the place that blew up.
Yeah, that's what it was.
He just happened to have a force field, which seemed convenient. But
I don't think I think.
You think what?
Well, I thought that the Leviathan guy put him in some kind of containment field.
Maybe.
This whole book was the 3 of them sitting around going, who, why?
We're in this wreckage. What are we doing?
What happened? And then you get a splash page with Leviathan that's supposed to make me care. I got that. I've had that like happen 4 times. Like I know what he looks like. He's all over the place.
Then the camera zooms out and they're playing Clue.
I defend Bendis all the time, or
guess who?
I just don't think he's
Is he wearing glasses?
I don't think Bendis tells good, efficient, single issue stories. I think this might be good when all 6 issues are out. I don't know, but not for now. This 1 issue didn't work. Maleev's awesome though. I love
Maleev's awesome. That's the only bright spot here. I like the art, but
what the heck?
And this is such a slow burn. This felt like a 0 issue. And it feels like we've already had at least 1 or 2 other 0 issues to this event. Nothing happened, man. Nothing.
Yul Carter says we sold out, so I loved Event Leviathan.
No, good. I'm glad people are buying it because, again, like Boogie, I'm sure this is eventually going to get somewhere that is cool. But how much am I going to have to invest? $12 before something cool happens? $16? How far into this 6-issue series am I going to have to go before something awesome happens? And it's a great premise, dude. There's this, hooded figure or a mysterious new group coming that's wiped out everything. And their goal is to have peace on Earth with a tyrannical, hint to it. That's cool, dude, because, it puts the heroes in a weird place because, they're doing the right things the wrong way, but maybe the ends justify the means. I want to see certain characters in that position. And I think having Batman and Green Arrow and even the Question involved in this is a good idea, because all three of those guys would probably have a different opinion on how to move forward. And having Lois Lane as possibly your conscious center is good. But he hadn't done any of that. That's me just saying, oh, wow, Bendis might be able to make this good at some point. But again, it sucks that I have to wait.
Serenity says, guess I'm a mystery nerd because this book was amazing and plenty of awesome for me. Serenity also said something about digging the build up to this. And I did too, man. I don't think anybody else is even reading Action Comics. And I kept saying, I was like, this is cool. It's what got me excited for this event. It's like Bendis is doing some cool things in Action Comics. You guys need to be reading it. But it kind of felt like it went here, it builds. And then it just plateaued. And maybe I got burnt out before the event even started.
I was just expecting more than just them hanging out talking about the mystery that we pretty much already knew from the Event Leviathan book that just came out, the $10 one. I know the $10 one was more of a cash grab than anything, but honestly, I was expecting a lot more from this. That's it. That's me. That's all I got. Nothing else.
Is this the Boogie and Gaumer show? Did anybody else read it?
I read it. I didn't read any of these build up issues to it, and so I was just confused as hell. Like Lois Lane is on par with Batman as a detective. Like, what the hell? And then the Question shows up, and he's like, and he doesn't even say a word or anything. He's just watching everybody off in a corner.
And I'm okay with that, but it didn't really, like you said, it didn't really add anything. I'm okay with him showing up. I'm okay with him being there, but let's let him do something, not just breathe heavily in the corner. I don't think does the Question breathe heavy in the corner?
I don't know. I'm making that up.
I hope so. If not,
I prefer the Justice League Unlimited Question from the animated series.
Does it go without saying that nobody's going to read this except for me?
Yeah,
no, I'll continue. You know me, dude. I'll continue to pick it up.
I'm not going to fall on that sword this time.
War of the Realms is done for me, so I'll pick up another event.
The only reason would be for me to look at the pictures because I like the art. That's it.
Yeah. Dude, Maleev is so good. I looked at some of his original artwork as if I'm a millionaire and was going to be able to afford it. Yeah, that ain't happening.
I liked it better when he did his eyes differently. He's changed his eyes. They used to have these like sagging weird bags under his character's eyes, and for some reason I really liked that. But he's moved away from that in recent years.
Wait till the world, people.
We got 10 in the live chat. Everybody do us a favor. Just X out of the live chat, smash that like button, share out the link. Let's see if we can grow it and get 20. That's my goal, 20. It won't happen. I don't usually set goals because that way I don't get disappointed when I don't reach them. But do us a favor and hit the like button and share out the link.
And the Question is our conspiracy theorist on the inside of comics. He's our man on the inside that does the conspiracy.
He's the Alex Jones of the comic book world.
Yeah.
The Question showed up in Action Comics, but I can't remember. It seems like he was having a conversation with Batman. I can't remember. I read too many comic books; they all bleed together.
Yeah.
The unfortunate.
Remember that time when
Spider-Man
showed up in DC? He was trying to stop the crocodile who was an amalgam of Killer Croc and somebody else.
I remember when Batman put the Signal in charge of the Outsiders for some reason. Inside joke for those that were here for that. Speaking of Batman and the Outsiders, number 2.
Lesser God
hearted. This is my book, and I don't get to talk about it.
Lesser Gods Part 2. Brian Hill writing, Dexter Soy on the art, Veronica Gandini doing colors, and Clayton Cowles on the letters.
Thank you, Clayton.
Say the voice, Adam. Do it in the voice. Say the name of the voice, Adam.
He's not doing it. I don't blame him.
He's so aggressive. What? It's the Vince McMahon. Clayton.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
When we last left this team, there was a girl with powers who Bats was keeping track of, and she was attacked. And then this Cable-looking dude from the future found her, protected her, and told her that she was important for the future. Well, it turns out all that was bullcrap.
Oh, spoiler alert.
Caliber was a vicious liar, and it turns out this dude is just some dude that Batman knows who used to be an arms dealer.
He's just a dude pretending to be a dude.
He really. So Batman sends the Outsiders to go hook up with him to protect him. She's all crazy bummed out. She's attempted suicide, but then the bad dude shows up, Ishmael, and there's a lot of fight, and they lose. And then Ra's al Ghul gets the girl. This was bland. It was just, again, at the beginning, there's like this conference between Jefferson and Bruce is just being Bruce Wayne, you know, highfalutin, holier than thou, talking down to Jefferson, and I just don't get why. I don't know if he's doing like negative reinforcement, you know, trying to make him feel good by being a douchebag, or maybe trying to find something in Jefferson that he sees that Jefferson doesn't, trying to reveal this to Jefferson. But I just don't get it, man. I don't understand. Why didn't Batman just go his damn self and go get this thing? He's hanging around sipping tea, and then he sends the Outsiders to go do this thing, and the Outsiders lose like miserably.
He doesn't have to do anything. He's already got top billing on the comic. So.
Sure. Yeah. And literally he's in there for a page and a half.
Yep. But yet Leviathan, his name's not even on it, and he's through the whole book.
I don't. This felt like a filler issue. It was a lot of fighty fight, and it wasn't even all that good fighty fight. Dexter Soy's art is good, but he just didn't capture the motion in this like I would expect him to do with this cast of characters who are all about acrobatics, you know, fighty fights.
Now, behind the scenes, I posted some artwork from Dexter Soy in the chat for the podcast. Why can't he draw like that?
I don't know. You agree with me, though, that this art was a bit lacking, right?
The art that I posted in the chat is 10 times better than the art in this book.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's the colorist or what, but the art in this book is shit.
It's really a bummer on top of everything, knowing the inside baseball that how this was delayed, you know, and we still don't really know why. I think it was delayed, but again, yeah, kind of a disappointment, especially after that first issue, which was such a surprise for me. I wasn't expecting it to be that good, but I don't know. There you go. There's your review.
Is everybody off of it now except for me? The only guy that didn't read it's just going to keep rocking.
I said that if he could get me to care about the Signal Duke, that I would read it. I did pick up issue 2, and it just proved my point. And that part where it's like, oh yeah, I'm not really from the future, and my interest just it went from like here to like. Boom! Just bottomed out. It's like,
oh wow,
what the crap!
He went from Terminator to
just some dude, some rando.
Yeah, he went from Terminator to the bad guy in the movie Commando.
As soon as that came out, I was like, oh, they're gonna lose. This girl's gonna get captured here in just a minute. Doesn't matter what happens.
Yeah, Batman and the Outsiders. Another book I could care less about now.
Yeah, I might pick up the 3rd issue. What is it, a 5-issue mini?
I don't know that they announced. For some reason, I thought it was ongoing, but assumed it wasn't. If that makes any sense at all.
No, it does because of what the art.
Well, it won't be if it gets canceled.
Well, because of what the writer said about his career choices. So.
Yeah, but he's got new #1s coming out. Did you see he's working with Sean Murphy?
On what?
Murphy tweeted out some picture of it looked like Knight Rider and said doing a little research for my book with Brian Edward Hill, and Hill retweeted it. So I don't know what's going on.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about.
And he also talked about
he's sitting in Kit.
Yeah, he also said asked him if he wanted to write a Batman White Knight book.
Oh, yes.
In the world of White Knight, and Hill's like, hell yeah, sign me up.
He can't, Sean. Brian's leaving the comic book industry.
It's almost like I'm quitting. Love me, and
it's like a wrestling.
I gotta buy it all.
It's like a wrestling thing, man. I'm leaving. I gotta retire, and then they're still there working for years and years. It's like, no, I'm retired. I don't work in comics anymore. I know I have 3 #1s coming out in January, but I'm done with comics. Meanwhile, Tom King has actually still got books coming out, claiming he's going to work in comics forever, and is doing movies and TV. Whatever, you liars.
Dude, Hill's doing TV too. I think he did some stuff on Titans, man. Busy guy.
Let's move away from this and move on to Awesome.
Let's talk about Awesome. If Adam didn't like this, he's gone from the podcast.
A lot of pressure here, Adam.
I didn't mean that, Adam.
See ya.
Oh no!
What the heck?
Silver Surfer Black #1, written by Donnie Cates, art by Trad Moore and Dave Stewart. and letters by Clayton Cowles yet again.
Clayton.
So this, I said what I said, but in this, so Silver, back in Guardians of the Galaxy, while fighting the Black Order, Silver Surfer ended up getting stranded in a black hole because he used all of his powers to save people from getting sucked into the same black hole. While he's going through this black hole, he goes through an existential crisis. Then ends up fighting giant alien gods. And then we find out who the quote unquote big bad is of the book, which is where I was disappointed in seeing that.
Spoil it, because we've got to talk about this.
It's the Venom guy. I forget his name.
Null.
Yeah, Null and Void. That's what he
should
be. It's
the
Null
Venom
and Void.
God. The Venom God.
Venom God, whatever. It's a character who should be Null and Void, in my opinion. Screw that guy. It's so dumb. But up until that point, I thought the book was. I thought it was
Trippy
good.
Fuck.
No, I just
easy killer.
I didn't care about the art that much.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, wow. I did not care about. I don't know, something about that art didn't jive.
I will say when I first saw the cover, I agreed with you. When I first saw it, I didn't like it, but as I read it, I loved it.
But the story itself, where it's like, if you think about it, the surfer, he did this great thing in trying to save people, like all of his life, he being the Herald of Galactus and stuff. And he did this thing where he saved all these people, all pretty much sacrificing himself. And how was he rewarded? But by being shoved into this black hole to just almost where you could pretty much go insane just thinking about contemplating life and what's happening to you. And when he finally lands, I mean, he basically has to rebuild himself from the inside, internally and externally, and fight back. I thought it was a good story up until the ending.
Comics Explained said the art kept his attention because it was different, but he fell asleep while reading it. And then Ninja Fingers says can't stand the art, but I think all you got to do is look at it. It's going to be polarizing, 100%.
Wow.
I don't know the art. I think what really makes it is not the character art. The character art I did not like. I think it's all the backgrounds that people are looking at and liking. I think the actual characters are just like, I don't know. It's like someone tied a bunch of Twizzlers together and that's your characters.
David thought that was funny.
But the background art is good and stuff. But I mean, I don't know.
I can see people hating.
I'll pick up
Silver Surfer's ribs. Is that what it is? You can see Silver Surfer's ribs.
No, that's weird, dude.
It was weird, but I think that was the point.
I'm not picking up the second issue because I just do not want to see those ribs anymore. No,
I don't even know what you're talking about. I didn't
like on some of the pages, like Surfer's in like this weird angle where his head's all back and his back is arched, and you can see like his ribs are sticking out of his body. You know,
it's like I was just really disheartened about the ending. I thought we were past that guy. I thought that guy was gone.
No, I think that's what the whole Absolute Carnage is going to get back around to eventually. Is that Null character?
Well, I'm absolutely not picking it up.
In the Venom book, they talk about how Null was trapped at the beginning of time after everything, and I'm pretty sure that's what's happened here. Silver Surfer went into this black hole and was teleported through time or transported through time, however you want to put it, back to that point before Null was put away. So is that the story we're going to get? Is this how Null was originally put down? Is it going to be that story? I think that's brilliant for Donny Cates to take other things that he's doing and wrap them together in something completely different. I think he is the guy to be running the cosmic side of stuff. I've been enjoying Guardians of the Galaxy a ton. I loved this issue. I loved Silver Surfer Black #1. The art was different and unique. Trad Moore, I fell in love with Trad Moore's art on the all-new Ghost Rider that introduced Robbie Reyes, and they were driving around doing street racing.
And he can do a lot with speed. He does a lot with speed.
Exactly. Speed and motion, and everything on this page moved. It was like psychedelic to the point where you were actually having a trip because it was moving on
it was
yeah,
it was a bit disorienting sometimes.
It was, and I think again that was the point. I think that's kind of the style he was going for. He wanted to be trippy and motion.
It's I think it has something to do, maybe he was trying to illustrate the effects of travel through a black hole, which is theoretically can't be done because the immense how black holes are, but if anybody in any comic book continuity could do it, it would probably be the Silver Surfer. And this is how he experiences the travel through the black hole.
And it was communicated well, I thought. Going through the black hole.
It was, but the art was really, really trippy.
If I told you to put on paper what traveling through a black hole would look like,
right?
Imagine Joe Rogan explaining it to you. Like, how can you put that on paper? And I feel like that's exactly what Tradmore did. It was freaking perfect, the artwork.
I can say there was a little bit of your typical Silver Surfer, the looking within, the all introspective in the dialogue boxes. It was very introspective. It was kind of deep and supposed to, but that's what Silver Surfer's kind of always been. I liked it too.
This did not feel like a typical Donny Cates book. I love Donny Cates, and as I was reading it, and I saw him tweet some stuff out about this, but as I'm reading, I'm like, this feels almost like old school. This doesn't feel like Donny Cates. Then I get to the back and you read the story about him meeting Stan Lee and what Silver Surfer meant to Stan Lee and how important it was for him to write this #1 issue and how heartfelt all that was. And then when you go back and read it, and you can almost see how much effort Donny Cates put into this book.
Respect. It's like a respectful, thoughtful effort. I completely agree. Yeah.
I loved it.
I think the Marvel cosmic side of things is going to be gigantic in 2020. And I wouldn't be surprised to see 3 or 4 ongoing cosmic titles building up to a Cates written event sometime next year.
Dude, you said that when you talked about the Guardians of the Galaxy annual, which I made myself read before I read this issue.
It was dope, wasn't it?
I don't even like
perfectly.
If anybody else at Marvel was writing the cosmic universe, I probably wouldn't even read. I would have never picked up Guardians of the Galaxy. Never in a million years. When I saw the cast of characters in that book and that it wasn't going to be, your normal Guardians of the Galaxy, would have never read it. Silver Surfer would have never read it. I just do not care. But Cates is doing big things with the cosmic universe.
100% agree.
He's so freaking good.
Love this. I'm really surprised. I thought Adam really would have liked this. I was shocked.
It wasn't. It's not that I didn't like it. It's just that ending really disappointed me.
Is that really what turns you off? The whole Noel Benham?
Yeah, and actually, in looking through other people's reviews of it, it seemed like that seemed to be a common thing amongst people. Is they just were not happy, and it's not. I just don't like the character. But I think some people felt that it was given what he's got coming up with Absolute Carnage, people thought it was a bit predictable.
Oh, okay. I wasn't expecting it.
Or just kind of like of course this is who the big bad is. Of course that's who he's going to put in here because
that's
of what
his guy. That's his.
Yeah.
Like Cosmic Ghost Rider is everywhere now because Donny Cates loves him so much.
Like these 3 other gods that were here and that he fought, I thought the mystery behind them was interesting.
Me too.
And wanted to know more about them in this world, and
That's
but
fair.
then you get this guy, with his slimy sword and
Boogie. This is what you talked about. When does Donny Cates fall from grace? This is it. When he's.
I don't know. Is this it? No.
When he upsets Adam.
Did he though? Did he know?
I wouldn't say this is it. Just, I'm sure there's people who like Noel.
Well, when his ego gets in the way, and I don't know if that's exactly what you're saying, but I feel that that's at least got to be a little bit of it that all Donny Cates is using is the characters he created because
see, and how
them
cool
so much.
You say that. How cool would it have been? I'm sure it's gotten back to Donny Cates about you know he's getting big, and when's his ego going to be? Imagine if it was Ego the planet that he landed on.
What?
That would
imagine, and it was a little nod like, "Well, here's my ego."
That's nice.
That would be there. You go,
That'd
Donny
be so
Cates.
meta.
But do we think it's because a writer gets too big, or do we think it's because people don't like successful people?
People don't like successful people.
That's what I believe.
Because it's not them.
I truly believe that.
Thank goodness we suck.
I truly believe that Adam hates Bendis because he's successful.
Because a lot of people say, "Why not me?"
Yeah, why not me?
No, Bendis. It's like I'm 38. I don't have 20 years to read a Bendis book.
Oh gosh.
Oh my gosh.
To get to where he's going. And that's all.
See, we'll know that Cates is to that level when Adam starts talking about him like that. Right now, it's respectful. He did a good job. I like this. I like that. I just didn't really dig the end, so I'm not going to read it.
Yeah.
Year from now, Adam will be talking about how much Donny Cates sucks.
How to write comics the Bendis way.
I'll probably pick up the second one just to see.
Oh wow, I'm shocked.
If I gave Batman and the Outsiders a second chance,
dude, that's Brian Edward Hill. What are you talking about, man?
I can give this a second issue too.
Just not War of the Realms, right?
I gave War of the Realms. I gave War of the Realms 5 issues.
Right.
You're giving it all.
You know, there's
only one more left.
There's a point like when your car, things keep happening, things keep breaking, and then something breaks that might cost you $30 to fix, but you say, you know what, this is the last straw. I'm gonna go get another car, or I'm done with this car completely. I'm not putting any more money into it. Sometimes that's what happens. It's like, oh, sure, it's one more issue, but you know what? I've had enough of this.
A dime of prevention.
I'm not putting any more money into this.
And that's where you were last week when you almost gave up on the podcast.
Thanks a lot, Jason Aaron.
Yeah.
He caused that whole big fight last week.
He did.
Freaking Jason Aaron.
Hate that guy.
He's no Donny Cates.
He writes good comics, though, sometimes.
You say almost?
Are you leaving?
He's going away after issue 150.
I keep running people off this podcast. Eventually, it'll just be me sitting here talking to myself in the live chat.
Well, that would be actually pretty cool if you could have record the things earlier and do like an acapella version of yourself.
I got my damn self in the live chat. Do me a favor, go hit the smash the like button.
Why is it got to be a smash?
Do you think if it was just me, I would argue with myself about what books I had to read?
Absolutely.
Probably.
You'd be like, "Oh, we're gonna review Batman and the Outsiders #2. I didn't read it, but here's the review."
Everybody's getting an inside look to how much everybody actually hates me.
Eli up in the chat. Geek Savs podcast. I mean, they had all the OG Geek Savs
What the
back.
heck? I don't see that.
Thrash Jaws. That's
Oh.
They had all the original Geek Savs back a couple of episodes ago. Man, it was so good. I loved it so much. It's so great. Easily my favorite Geek Savs episode.
Oh man, it's already happening. He's talking about Cates and all that stuff, and Noel showing up in Guardians of the Galaxy, and then Comics Missed Explained. Think you learned that from Bendis. Bendis loves creating new characters and putting them everywhere. It's happening. It's happening. I called the downfall of Donny Cates.
That'll save me money. Because everything Noel shows up in, I could say, well, I'm not picking that up again.
Yep. You wait and see. You wait and see. A year from now, I'm never going to shut up about how you all used to love Donny Cates.
You love him too.
I'll love the guy forever. I'm a ride or die. Once I like somebody, Bendis could put a turd on a piece of paper, and I'm going to tell you it's great.
He did this week. He did it this week.
I do call a turd a turd. I just keep buying it.
I look at Powers and stuff, and I think, what happened, Bendis? And then I'll look at like the book Justice. Was it? I think it was Justice, and the DC book, and other Mark Waid books, and I think, what happened, Waid?
Right.
Dude, go back and look at Bendis's Daredevil. It is so different. It's so different than what he writes now.
Yeah.
I mean, I could admit that. I still read his stuff, but that Daredevil run was amazing.
It's like how Tiger Woods, man, was so good for a while, and then he wasn't, and then he just won, like, I don't know, a month or two ago. I don't know.
Are you saying Bendis like slept with 500 women and got?
Do we know
allegedly?
For sure?
Allegedly.
Well, I don't know. Allegedly.
So you're saying the difference between good comics and bad comics is hookers?
That's the difference between good golf and bad golf.
Yeah, it seems to be.
Sonata,
Awesome.
number 1.
That took a weird turn.
Sonata number 1. Na, 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 na. All right.
Your review for this is already way too long.
All right.
Yeah,
thank you. We got David Hine and Brian Halberlin with writing duties. Brian Halberlin on the art, Gerard Van Dyke on the colors, and Francis Tekanaga on the letters.
Thanks, Francis.
Thanks.
Tell me what to take.
Tekanaga. Opens up with the book is
Take a number.
Comics Misexplained is talking smack on you already for the long one.
Did you see?
He's like, wrap it up
in the Patreon Facebook group. He's like, "This is Boogie" when David's doing a review. Oh God.
Sorry, David.
Yeah. Okay. From what I can understand in the opening, apparently there's a planet that when two planets come close together, people send colonists to the second planet. We are introduced to Sonata. She's waiting for a group of these colonists to arrive, but there's a storm. She's been told not to go because of the storm, but she decides to go anyway. She goes and finds these colonists. They're under attack by some kind of animal, and she encounters a sleeping god, which, I'm not sure if it's sleepwalking, but hey. She returns the colonists to the settlement, and then they're like, well, the people in charge of settlement are like, we're running out of water. They go find out the reason. The Rand find the Tan, and the Tan have built a dam. And I'm Dr. Seuss all of a sudden.
Tan dam.
A tan dam. And the Rand found a tan dam.
Yeah. I went to the beach and got a damn tan.
I can.
But pretty much it's talking about, like, being we need to be diplomatic with these people.
They're neighbors. They're kind of
neighbors, but the neighbors have shut off the water supply.
Yeah.
And there's a whole big discussion. We've got, like, the Rand with their native allies, Aboriginal allies, and they go blow up the dam. And the dam, basically, all the water gushing out of the dam pretty much causes a tidal wave.
It causes like an earthquake.
Well, it causes like a deluge.
Well,
got any damn bait?
Yeah, I'm your damn guide on the damn tour.
Remember how Adam said he read that first was it Aubrey Sitterson's book or Jason Aaron's, where you just flip through the pages and just didn't care?
Yeah.
That's how I read this.
I read it and I was like, okay, there's got to be something more here. It was just too little of too much. There's so much going on. There's so many little nuances to this universe, but they didn't really dig into any of it. And then, I'm sorry, there's a last page left turn where everything changes on this last page. And I'm just not sure I care enough to, like, okay, now I got to go learn about a whole bunch of other stuff that I don't really care about. It's weird. It's good, not great. I didn't like it.
I thought the art was fairly good.
Yeah, it was good.
There is a lot going on in there, but it's the first issue, trying to world build, establish who these factions are. I
think it just failed a little bit at the world build.
I think it was a little much. I think, like, they kind of rushed this, attack on the dam. The Tan are like, they built a pretty impressive settlement with some impressive technology. They may be comparable to us at this moment in time, but both parties are trying to settle a new world, and the one group already has enough technology to build a hydroelectric dam.
Was it a hydroelectric?
I don't know.
Or are they just steering the water a different direction?
I think they just shut the water off to create a reservoir.
I don't know. Again, we don't know.
We don't know.
And then at the end, like, the main girl, Sonata, falls into, like, a pit with one of these aboriginals, and they find, like,
a temple.
They find like proof of an ancient civilization where there wasn't supposed to be. They thought they were the only life on this planet or whatever.
So, but they have we get introduced to one of these sleeping gods, and it looks like an elephant skull.
It's weird.
With trees growing on it. Yeah. But I thought, the sleeping, that wouldn't have been my definition of a sleeping god. But apparently this is a sleepwalking god.
Kind of bad.
There's enough there that I kind of want to check the second issue out to see where it goes.
I kind of want to too. I'm like curious if it's going to get better, but I don't think I'm going to.
But I don't know. This this may not keep me on after a second issue, depending on how it goes.
Well, there you go. Good review.
Thank you.
Adam, did you read that?
No, I didn't.
That's fair. I didn't think either of you guys would read this, especially with so much that came out this week.
You know why I read it? Because I didn't want David to say, "You never read my books."
Pick better books. Come on.
Oh,
hey, I can't help it if your comic shop doesn't get all the books.
Oh, it had nothing to do with my comic shop. My comic shop had it.
Now he's crapping on the sponsors. What is going on?
My comic shop had this book. Thank you very much.
Only I'm allowed to crap on the sponsors, and only Outright Geekery.
Are we done with this book?
Yeah, we're done.
Let's talk about a very deep, thought-provoking book. Jughead's Time Police #1. As I make fun of your book, this is my book. Jughead's Time Police #1. Written by Cena Grace. Art by Derek Charm. Colors by Matt Herms. Letters by Jack Morelli.
Thank you, Jackie.
For me on this, if you like anything about old school Archie, I mean, you'll dig this. It's what it is. Derek Charm, I felt like with the artwork brought kind of an old school style, but yet updated, if that makes sense. It doesn't feel old. It stays true to the characters, I guess is probably the best way to put it.
Retro.
But it stays, I don't think it's retro or like an old style of art. I'm just saying it stays true to the characters, but it's a newer style of art.
It stays true to like the Archie style, maybe.
Versus Riverdale, right?
Yeah. Okay.
The story's fine. Jughead loses track of time, drinking a bunch of milkshakes that pops like any other episode of Archie, which leads him to failing at the Riverdale pie baking contest. Blah blah blah. He gets banned for life because all the judges get sick. It's so corny, but it's everything you should love about Archie comics.
Yeah, but he put the wrong ingredient in the pie.
Right, because he lost track of time. He didn't make it to the store. I don't. That's irrelevant. That's irrelevant.
It's not very deep. You're looking way too deep.
This is why your reviews go 45 minutes and mine go 30 seconds. I was trying to wrap this thing up. But because Jughead got banned for life, he has to embark on time travel. And we all know how that goes. If you've ever seen Back to the Future, that leads to alternate timelines. It leads to all this crap. Yeah. This was fun. It's what you would expect. It's
a bit overkill. It's a bit overkill for being banned for life from a pie cooking contest.
Because it's Archie, dude.
Yeah,
it's Archie.
It's trying to be like not serious. It's supposed to be hokey and a little bit campy.
Comics Misexplained would rather talk about my. Look at him. I can balance him on my finger back there. That battery's still rocking and rolling, man. The light doesn't work, but he's still spinning.
Because you need to change the battery.
Yeah, but it burns out the light in about a week.
Yeah,
it lights up blue too, Jason. It like flat. It's cool. Anyways,
so the spinning Superman is more interesting than this
definitely 100%.
If you are an Archie fan, this is exactly what you are going to expect and want from your Archie book, and it worked just fine for that very reason.
And it turns into Time Cop.
Does it though?
At the end,
we don't know that. We don't know who this girl is.
Yeah, we do. It said in the back of the book.
She's a time cop. She says she's a time cop.
She's got to police alternate timelines that Jughead creates.
Oh, well, there you go. My bad. She's time cop.
I love Archie. I'm not going to read the second issue.
Me neither.
You peer pressure me into putting books like this on here.
Well, it was an okay book. You know, it was.
Let me ask.
Look out! There's somebody behind you.
We got 9 in the live chat. If anybody will answer this question, would you guys rather us talk about stuff like Event Leviathan, Superman, Captain America, mainstream stuff, or do you kind of like when we mix it up and sometimes we add like these Jughead books or Sonata, or at times it works out? We're going to get into the book of the week here in a minute with Banjax #1. At times we hit home runs with the books that we stumble upon.
Yeah.
So I'm just curious what you guys think. If Yule says all of it, we should keep it all of it. David, you don't count. Your freaking answer does not count, David.
Well, his Comics Misexplain's answer is the same as mine.
Yeah, so that's cool. So
he gets to count twice.
I was just curious. I'm just curious what you guys think. I feel like we should try to hit the mainstream stuff, and it's good to mix some of this other stuff in too. So there you go, Jughead, Time Police #1. Let's talk about some random reviews. Anything but ball sports. Matthew Lane. I can delete that, you know. Anyways, random reviews
through the heart.
Presented by Collar and Elbow Brand. Check them out at collarandelbowbrand.com. Use the promo code ComicCast, and you can save 10% if you love professional wrestling merchandise, which I don't think any of you do because we don't get any money back from it. So. But if you feel like it, check them out. All the links are in the description. David, what'd you read this week?
Gogor #2. Gogor has been summoned. He defeats the soldiers from the Dominus, turns them into a critter ball and throws them. Then wants to go to another island, and then we get to meet the commander of the Dominus, and he's got this Snake Man assassin.
Look like He-Man.
He-Man. That's like that one that has like the neck that pops out.
Yeah, Skunkor.
No,
Something.
not Skunkor. It's one of the
like
Snake Men.
Snake Man is what his name probably was.
King Hiss.
Not
Snake.
King Hiss. It was
Snake Gore. No, I don't know.
Slither.
Slither. I'm not gonna look it up at the moment. But
did he just leave his desk? I think
he's like, I'm out of here.
No,
I'm out of here. I gotta pee.
We just hear a stream hitting water as he does his review.
I'm carrying my computer at the moment. Yay! Okay, there's the other one. They get to this other island. They meet this small tribe, small tribe of small people. The leader kind of explains the history of it, that they once were slaves, and because they were slaves,
sorry.
They were slaves. They became weak, but the ones who were not captured stay strong, and we were able to fight back. And then Then Gogor proceeds to go to a thing called the Tetrahedron.
That's a girl's name. That's the wizard's name.
Sorceress.
That's her name.
She has a different name, but she's in the thing called the Tetrahedron.
No, that's her name, Tetrahedron.
I thought it was not Tetrahedron. I thought
this is a fun book, man.
It's a fun book. I like it.
It's really good fantasy. It's like the Never-Ending Story, or even kind of like Labyrinth, where you just get to meet all these really cool characters while you follow this adventure. Yeah, this is really fun. I'm liking this.
Everyone, take a shot.
Her name is Tetrahedron.
Yeah, take a shot every time he says Tetrahedron.
Tetrahedron.
You're drunk now. Morning in America what is this? 4. The girls finally discover, the readers finally discover what the plant is actually. The plant in the town is. It's a research facility that has a dimensional portal generator, and that's where the creatures are coming from.
Oh, fun.
And as Allison, I forget what her name was. She fights one of these creatures. They open up the portal, and a giant one comes through, and that's where the book ends off at for #5.
There you go.
5 years. We go to Russia to get the names of the guys working on the Phi Bomb.
This is dope.
It was pretty cool.
No one else is reading this. No one else. I bet no one else in the world is reading this but you and me. I love it. It's so cool.
Larry's reading it.
There you go.
So Larry. There's 3 of us.
There you go.
Yep.
Good
Great art.
Books.
Terry Moore's 5 years. Probably a sleeper hit.
You got to be a fan.
You got to be a fan, but
if you know these characters, this issue is amazingly good.
It is good.
Yeah.
That concludes mine.
That concludes David's reviews for this podcast.
Wrap it up.
All right.
We need a shirt.
I'll go next. I only got one book because I had to read the 42 books that were on the list this week, thanks to whoever owns this stupid podcast. Punisher #12, new story arc, Matthew Rosenberg. And we're finally out of the prison. As much as I love this book, I was ready to get out of that prison. Felt like we were there forever. Zemo sends Frank crashing into the ocean in a plane crash. And it turns into Rambo. If you dig Rambo First Blood Part 2, that's exactly what this was. Bow and arrow, headband. The scene from First Blood Part 2 when he comes up out of the river and he's got the mud, that's in there. It's all there. It's all here. If you like Punisher and you like Rambo, read this. It's so much fun.
So it's the reading Rambo?
Yeah.
Oh, that is. I can do anything.
Simon Kudranski's doing art on Punisher. He's moving over to Superman, I think, with Bendis.
Whoa, no way.
I'm picking up Superman just because Simon Kudranski's going to do the book.
Is he going to stay on Punisher?
I don't know.
Oh, no.
I hope he doesn't leave Punisher because holy crap. This issue, every issue with him, it's so good. I love Punisher.
Not enough people are talking about Punisher, just me and you, man.
It might be my favorite Marvel series, dude. It's there's a lot of good ones, but that one might be my favorite.
I say it every week of the month that this falls. I have so many books that come out, and I'm like, I start looking, I'm like, I'm not a really big Punisher fan. I could drop that book, and then every time I read it, I'm like, this is why I'm not dropping the book, because it's so good. I don't even really like the Punisher that much. It's just Rosenberg's killing it.
Yeah, and the art, man, is so good. Yeah, he does kind of look like Tom Hardy. Eli in the Thrash Jaws in the chat, so he kind of looked like Tom Hardy. I can see that. Immortal Hulk was dope this week too.
Dolph Lundgren was a Punisher at one time.
Yeah, that's weird. But yeah, Immortal Hulk again, cool horror, very horrible at the end. It was like, whoa, what's happening? Great book. I also read Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man #7. Still my favorite Spider-Man book from Tom Taylor and Ken Lashley. There's like 5 Spider-Man books. Yeah, this is still my favorite one. And Star Trek The Q Conflict #5. Scott and David Tipton with David Messina doing the art. This is a Star Trek fan Star Trek comic. Wesley Crusher shows up with the Traveler in this issue. The Prophets, the Bajor Prophets, have it out with the Q Continuum in this issue. It's awesome. It's so rad, dude. But only if you're a Star Trek fan. That's it. That's me. That's Gaumer's pile.
That's all you got?
I read more, but I don't want to talk about any of the garbage. Let's keep it positive.
Sending out a tweet right now. Right now. We are about to review the Outright Geekery Book of the Week. OurightGeekery.com, your one-stop shop for news, reviews, previews, podcasts, everything geek at your fingertips.
Fingertips. At your fingertips.
Man, I'm trying to react to this guy getting mad because I said Batman and the Outsiders #1 when I meant #2. He's very caught up. I thought maybe I put Superman in the Outsiders. He was so upset about it, but no.
Ralph Macchio in the Outsiders.
Real sorry, man. Real sorry. Yes.
Batman, #1, #2. The Batman shouldn't be in the title at either one. So there you go.
The worst thing I ever did was tweet out a picture because I was drinking whiskey and reading Green Lantern and thought that I was tweeting out a picture that Ethan Van Sciver drew, but instead it was somebody else. Don't let Comicsgate see you tweet a picture that wasn't drawn by Ethan Van Sciver because you will get annihilated on Twitter. I finally deleted the tweet. It went on for so long. That's not EVS. That's not Ethan Van Sciver. I get it, man. I get it. I'm sorry. I'm drinking whiskey and reading Green Lantern. I'm sorry. Shout out to Green Lantern. I need this stress ball. I'm stressed out right now.
And this is why
Drunken Twitter is the best Twitter.
This is why I prefer playing video games that are solitary, single player.
People suck.
Post-apocalyptic, all by yourself.
People love to point out when you make a mistake, man.
That's right.
But let me tell you who didn't make a mistake, and that was Adam by adding Banjax #1 to the Book of the Week poll. Let's talk about it.
Glad.
Read the premise. You knew you had to read it, and that's what I did.
Yes,
Banjax
thank you
#1 by Action Lab, Danger Zone Comics.
Danger Zone.
Highway 2.
Written by Rylan Grant, which this dude. I was going to mention it, but he's had an interesting life. You can look him up and read all about
what just happened?
He's just an interesting dude, but written by him, art by Fabio Alves and Edson Vieira, and letters by capital H, lowercase d, capital E.
HDE. I don't know how to pronounce it, but yeah, that's just one
it reminds me of the band Head PE.
Oh, great band.
Yeah.
A couple of good tunes there.
Yeah, absolutely. But this book is pretty much the rise, the fall, and the beginning of the redemption of Laird Mason, who is the book's main protagonist and narrates this first issue. He is, at the time we meet him, he's pretty much former superhero named Banjax. And as he's diagnosed with terminal cancer due to his own powers. Now Mason, he plans to rid the city of crime before he dies. Kind of all or nothing, last hurrah. So his own abuse trauma as a child, and his self-sabotaging led to his downfall after obtaining fame as the superhero Banjax. He also meets what he calls a sidekick, Abel Raines, who kind of brought him back from his first, I guess, stumble as a person, brought him back into it. And it was kind of like an old school meets new school deal. And we kind of a side thing. I don't know if it's going to be a bigger part, but there's a drug in this world called zapping, where these superpowered people will zap people's heads, and it's supposed to be super addictive. And that's kind of it. This first issue just introduces us to Laird Mason, his rise to being Banjax, and his fall because of the fame of being Banjax. And it just kind of shows that life and self-sabotage will screw up your path chosen in life or something. I don't know. I liked it. I don't know if I explained it too much, but I'm putting this on my pull list.
Dude, I don't know if you could explain it without going step by step, beat for beat through this. So much happens.
I might be able to.
But no common man could, just you.
This read like 20 years of comic book continuity in a single issue.
100%.
Bendis could take a page from this book.
Dude, that's in my notes. Bendis could take a note here, man.
No way, dude. It's in my notes.
Oh, it's perfect.
David, is it in your notes?
No, it's not in my notes. But that Gaumer did sum it up pretty good. It's going through the history of this one man that leads him to this point.
Yeah.
It scared me because so much was happening. I mean, he right out of the gate, Ryland Grant just puts the pedal to the floor and does not stop the whole book. And it was getting to the point that I was kind of like, he's doing too, like, it's like you said, 20 years of comic book continuity. I want to see this play out. I was so concerned. What's he going to do next?
Yeah.
What's the hook that's going to bring me back? Then he gives me that hook. What are the next 3 months going to look like for Banjax?
Oh my gosh. I can't wait.
Awesome. Going to look like?
I cannot wait to find out. This book hit all the right notes for me. It had this fantastic undertone of like this generational dynamic when it comes to vigilante violence. Like when he first beat the crap out of the dude and murdered him live on TV, everybody loved him for it. When he did it later, 20 years later, everybody hated him for it. That's real life, dude. That's exactly what we're dealing with now.
Yep.
In terms of what goes on in popular culture, what is allowed and what is not allowed, and what was allowed 20 years ago.
As the saying goes, you're damned if you do and you're damned if you don't.
Exactly. And that's been touched on in everything from Watchmen to X-Men to The Boys from Dynamite Comics, which is going to be a TV show soon. Such a great use of comic book tropes in this to give us such a compelling origin story with this great twist at the end, man. Just told, I mean, It was just beautifully scripted. I cannot rave how good this book was. The art had this cool design to it where the art was going back in the past. And at certain moments, I think there were 3 moments that were almost identical where he would have a moment. One of them when he was beating the crap out of his dad. I don't know. Another one was when he was leaving his family, I think. But it would have
how about the flashbacks for his poor child to when the stuff that happened with his dad?
Exactly. And like there's this background where there's all these panels like he's living out his life. The first one time he does it, there's panels in there from the like 4 or 5 pages in the future of the book that haven't happened yet, but he's still seeing them. I mean, it was just marvelously done. The art fit in perfectly. I mean, we understand everything about this character. I know this character better than I know a lot of other comic book characters, and it's been 1 issue. It's perfect. I cannot rave about this enough, man. It was so good.
I want to go back and read it again already.
Exactly, me too. I am so glad this made it on our list. I don't know if I would have read it.
I would have never read it. Never in a million years.
This year.
Shout out to Ryland Grant for busting his butt on social media, promoting the poll over and over and over, getting people to vote, tagging people. Listen, this beat out Silver Surfer. For the book of the week. Donnie Cates didn't retweet it. He doesn't have to because he knows he's going to sell his issues. Versus this, the people in the chat, Comics Misexplained, is like, geez, I got to go read this book. People did not know about this book. And that's why it's cool to put this on the poll and watch him work his butt off and earn the book of the week. And then we talk about it and we all loved it, man.
Yeah.
Like, we're not done talking about it, but it's at $3.99. I think it's obvious.
I highly recommend this. I want everybody to read this. This is like the book Adam got me reading last year, Another World or whatever. I always call it the wrong damn name.
Wrong Earth.
Wrong Earth. I always call it the wrong
name. It means so much to you.
It was really good, but I will not forget Banjax. It's wonderful.
Before this, he did Aberrant.
Yes, that's also an Action Lab book.
Yeah, it's an but what I was saying about him before he really started writing, he actually did and this is when I was just researching him, what I found on Wikipedia. But it says that he used to do online poker for a living, and he would play in card rooms around Los Angeles. He's also a ordained Soto Zen Buddhist monk.
What?
And he was on season 2 in 2010 of American Ninja Warrior.
What?
This dude, man. This dude is
the most interesting man in the world.
The most interesting man in the comics.
He writes his books the way he lives his life 100 miles an hour.
Right.
Yeah. And he's primarily a film and TV writer.
Wow.
So he has an idea how to keep a story going and well paced.
Yeah, I mean that might be why there's like so many action beats in this.
Yeah, I was like 5 pages into this issue, and I was sitting on the bed, reading on my laptop, and my wife was reading a book, and we were watching TV. And I leaned over, and I was like, "Holy crap! This is the best comic I've read in a long time." And because of that pacing, it was going 100 miles an hour, but you were getting all of this information and all these feelings about the character.
Now, do you think issue 2 that'll have the same pacing?
I'm not sure because
he was getting us introduced to this character. He was, giving us like this 20 years backstory.
Yeah,
will issue 2 take a slowdown?
I'm not sure.
I think it has to because you're going to focus on the last 3 months of Banjax's life.
That is in my notes. My only hang up for this is I'm not sure where you go now, except it's simply being a really bloody anti-hero sort of story. But that takes nothing away from this issue being as awesome.
You're not focused on the cancer diagnosis for this.
That's one of the most things. It's like not only does he have terminal cancer, it's like okay, but the terminal cancer is caused by his own powers.
Yeah.
So
it reminds me of
it's like a reverse Deadpool.
Is it a Gotham Girl thing where he's just gonna get weaker and weaker as he uses his powers? And I'm okay with that.
But having the sidekick involved.
Yeah,
the sidekick went on to become Bruce Wayne. Really?
That's where the second issue I think is going to focus on the sidekick, from what I possibly understand. Maybe it's going to focus a bit on the sidekick character, and And of course, this path is going to lead them both to collide against each other again.
I wouldn't mind the second issue being the same exact style of storytelling, only with a different character.
Only with like the sidekick telling
the sidekick's point of view. Yeah, that might actually do a lot more to help build the world, even though through the eyes of the main character, this world is completely 100% established.
This is like the story DC should have told was like the Grim Knight.
Well, maybe it would work, but this was really good. But this guy has powers. This guy has some sort of weird powers.
At least a healing factor.
Yeah. Still, that doesn't matter. This was great. Oh my gosh.
I paid for it too. I bought it. I didn't need to, but
I'll probably end up getting it in trade. Since we got the review copies, I'll probably buy the trade.
I'm actually going to look for issue number 1 of this when I go to the shop, because I think this is going to be one of those books that a lot of people sleep on, and it's going to have a lot of value moving forward.
You didn't pick it up when they were at the shop. They had it.
Oh no, I didn't, because I had the review copy.
Okay.
Action Lab sent us a review copy. Thank you, Action Lab. And
I got the physical book.
Out stuff like this. This is awesome. Holy crap, this is good.
Action Lab and Ahoy Comics.
Right?
Yeah.
Yep.
Shout out to Adam Wade Adams for putting it on the poll. We all put it $3.99, right? Perfect rating.
Yeah,
$3.99. Buy the second issue. Here. Definitely check it out.
Yeah. Thank you, Adam, for making us put this on the poll. I don't think we would have read this otherwise, man.
You're welcome.
Way. No
this
way.
This is why I put things like Care Bears on the poll.
Hey, you never know what's gonna hit, man.
Let's not talk about Rainbow Bright when freaking David's putting books on the poll and he's not even on the podcast at the time. Let's talk about
that Rainbow Bright book ended up okay.
Okay, whatever. New Comic Book Day, June the 19th, 2019. What's going on the Outright Geekery Book of the Week poll this week? Hey, let's talk about those little small label books and how great they are. Nope, I'm going Superman Year 1, number 1, from the burning world of Krypton to the fields of Kansas. The first chapter of Superman Year 1 tracks Clark Kent's youth in Kansas. It's a DC Black Label book. Frank Miller, John Romita Jr. It's going to be absolutely beautiful to look at. Superman Year 1.
Nice, good choice. The horses are out of the stable.
Yeah. You know what I love is Adam used to say, "It's not me, I'm not typing," and now I see him every time. I don't know what that noise is. I don't know what that noise is. What do you mean? Must be David.
Wow, just
Superman
grip that lead pipe and beat it right across.
It's what Gaumer wants. It's what Gaumer. I'm just glad you're talking. I'm just glad you're talking and not pouting like you were last week.
And then Gomer's going to be like, "Now cut him a little.
Cut him a little bit.
It's too far of a drive to really
be poking his belly button with his fingers."
Ooh,
stick the knife.
All right, that just got weird.
That did get
Adam,
weird.
What are you putting on the poll, buddy?
You got to come to me when I'm trying to type.
Gomer, what are you putting on the poll, buddy?
Next week's a great week. Gideon Falls issue drops, Mad Magazine. But I'm putting Justice League number 26 by James Tynion the fourth and Javi Fernandez. I'm not going to read the solicit. It's the year of the villain, and it all centers around Justice League and what Lex Luthor's doing with the whole Doom angle there. I'm stoked. I can't wait. I'm really excited. New arc. There you go. Justice League number 26.
David,
okay.
What are you picking up? Oh, go ahead, Adam.
Yay.
I just felt it was. Never mind. I'm going to put from IDW Usagi Yojimbo by Stan Sakai. There's not much to say about it. It's Usagi Yojimbo.
Yeah. Dark Horse, long-term Dark Horse book.
Yeah.
Great book. Long time running series.
And I think this is going to be in color, which I believe is a new thing, maybe, to Usagi.
I know traditionally it was, but I think maybe even Dark Horse changed that a little bit in some of the later.
Yeah, there were Dark Horse issues that were in color.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
but traditionally, I think it's like a TMNT thing. You know, traditionally the turtles are black and white, but not really, not since. Yeah, classic.
Yep.
But another good pick.
Samurai Yojimbo.
Another good pick, man. 3 good picks so far.
No. Superman Year 1. Vote for it.
We'll see what happens. Black Label.
David.
All right, from Black Mass Studios, we got Laborator #1, Matt Miner and Priestley. It's got like 3 E's in it, so it's weird. This is a I believe this is a continuation of a series called Critical Hit. I'm not 100% sure, but I did enjoy Critical Hit, and Critical Hit was a follow-up to Liberator, and Matt Miner has written all those series, and this looks like it's the solicit reads like it's they're breaking into an animal testing lab, and apparently there's some kind of new creation in the lab that gets loose, and now these people who broke in the lab are trying to escape the lab with their lives.
Matt Miner does a lot of that eco-terrorist stuff.
Yeah, a lot of the animal rights. And,
rights, stuff like that. Yeah.
But I've enjoyed the previous series, and I believe this is a continuation of those series. So
awesome.
All right, go to Twitter at ComicCastPod and place your vote for the Outright Geekery Book of the Week for next week, which will be issue 149. We're 2 weeks away. 2 weeks away from the big 150. Everybody come and join us for the party. It's going to be insane. Comics Misexplained, Yul Carter, maybe Jeremy Massey, the Comic Book Bullies. It's going to be nuts. That's in 2 weeks. But for now, that's going to wrap it up for ComicCast issue number 148. Adam, where can they find you on the Twitter machine?
It's been a while since you've asked that.
Yeah.
It has been.
I'm at Adam Wade Adams because I can't think of anything clever.
How about this one? Gaumer.
I'm Matt Gaumer.
David.
I'm at _ aka David _.
I'm at Boogie Bentley. We'll see you guys next Sunday at 2 p.m. Eastern time for ComicCast number 149.
At Wrap It Up. I'm at Wrap It Up.
Wrap it up!